Good morning. So I want to talk to you a little bit about goal setting and what that looks like. So first of all, I always find that it helps to have a really cute journal, or a little lined paper. You don't have to have a cute little lined journal. You can have like a yellow, these are 3 for like $2 at the dollar store, but have a paper that you can write out some goals. You can even get like a weekly calendar. So let's say, all right, we know today is October 12th, 2023. So we basically have 2.5 months. So let's say we have about 75 days. I'm just like throwing numbers out. Okay. We basically have 75 days left in the year. Wow. Left in 2023. Okay. So I'm writing out today's date and I'm writing out that I have 75 days left in 2023. So I know that by the end of the year, I would like to lose 5 pounds. I would like to heal my gut. I would like to add 5 leaders to my team. I'd like to, let's just say, earn $500 a week consistently in my business. I would like to finish my book. I would like to have a plan for a baby. And I would like to save $2,000. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 goals that I would like to accomplish by the end of the year. What are the 2 to 4 most important for me right now? Okay, so I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to heal my gut. I want 5 leaders on my team, and I want to finish my book and have a baby plan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 goals. So in order of importance, what is the most important? Quite honestly, right now, if I'm thinking of today, I want to heal my gut. That's the number 1 priority. All right. I want to have a baby plan. That's my number 2 priority. I want to finish my book. That's my number 3 priority. I want to lose 5 pounds, my number 4 priority, and I want 5 leaders on my team. That's my last priority. So if I know that I want to heal my gut, I'm going to write that on my paper next. And then I'm going to write down baby plan. And then I'm going to write down finish my book. Okay, so this is what my list looks like. I have all my goals. I have the 5 that are most important. And then I'm writing down the 3 that are top priority right now. So I know that I need to start gut protocol like today. All right. I was eating my cottage cheese with apples and granola this morning for breakfast because it's rest day. So it's not eggs day for me. And as I'm looking up, researching what's going on with my belly, and it's giving me some pointers and low FODMAP diet, I start looking at what a low FODMAP diet is, and cottage cheese and apples are high FODMAP. So I've already had to have a restart in my meal plan today. But you know what? That's okay. And the next choice, you can choose a different thing and move on to your goal. Just because I didn't do what I should have done for breakfast because you don't know what you don't know, that doesn't mean I have to continue in a cycle of defeat today. That means from now on, I'm going to continue to make better choices. All right. So a baby plan. I don't really know what that looks like, but that is my number 2 priority because we want to have a solid plan. So probably like contacting a fertility specialist. So I'm just going to write that there. All right. So finish my book. I know that God has called me to write a book. Years ago, he told me to write a book. A couple of years ago, he gave me the name to my book. 3 months ago, he told me to fast and get my book outlined. 3 months ago, I fasted. I wrote the entire book outline, 60-day devotional. I wrote down 60 Bible verses, and I wrote down themes for each Bible verse. I have not touched it since. I know that my life is in chaos because I'm not being obedient and writing the book. So by the end of the year, I have 75 days to do it. I need to write my book. Hence the reason I'm not doing calls next week, because I'm going to write my book. Okay. So how many hours do I need to write a day in order to finish my book by the end of the year? Okay. I probably need to write for, I'm going to say 5 hours a week. So if I know that I have 2 hours during the week or 3 days during the week, I can break that down and say, okay, I need to write for 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday. All right. So that gives me a measurable goal. So at the end of next week, I can say, did I write for 5 hours a week? I already know I'm going to be out of town next Thursday and Friday. So that gives me 3 days to write. So if I'm writing 5 hours a week, then I need to write next week for 1 hour and 20 minutes, basically, or something like that. Okay. Next week. That is a measurable goal. I want to lose 5 pounds by the end of the year. So let's add that. Let's have 4 goals that I'm going to work on top priority. So if I want to lose 5 pounds by the end of the year, that's totally doable, right? I should be able to do that, honestly, by the middle of November, especially if I'm working to heal my gut. So if I want to lose 5 pounds, I know that I need to burn 3,500 calories for 1 pound. So I need to follow my meal plan over the next 6 weeks in order to lose 5 pounds. So what does that look like? I know that this coming, like a week from Thursday, I'm going to be out of town. So I can account for that. So I can be very diligent in my meal plan right now. I can still be diligent in my meal plan while I'm gone, but I know that it's harder for me to get vegetables in when I'm out of town. So if I'm going to lose that 5 pounds, I can say, all right, maybe the next 2 weeks are going to be harder for me to lose a pound to 2 pounds. But in the weeks after that, I can really lean in, and by the end of November, be that 5 pounds down. So I need to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. So that means that for 5 weeks, I need to follow that meal plan pretty diligently. Okay. Does this make sense? Like, I know I'm kind of being a little scattered around here, but let's say you want to, I'm just going to use weight because that is kind of an easier one to measure. So if you know you want to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year, and we have 75 days, that's basically 2.5 months, which is, let's say, 10 weeks. You need to lose about 2 pounds per week. So what do you need to do in order to lose 2 pounds per week? Okay, so maybe we need to say 20 pounds by the end of the year is kind of a big goal. All right, so maybe we need to look at that and say, is that a reasonable goal? So SMART goals are scalable, they're measurable, they're realistic, they're attainable, and then you can test them, right? So that may be a little bit heavy because 2 pounds a week is it's just not always easy to lose 2 pounds a week, or unless you have a lot of weight to lose. So let's say maybe looking at that, it's more reasonable for me to say I'm going to lose anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds by the end of the year. All right. So that means I need to lose anywhere from 1 pound to 1.5 pounds. That seems a little bit more attainable, especially because we know Thanksgiving's coming, Christmas is coming. That doesn't mean we're going to go off the rails on our meal plan, but that means when we eat more foods that our bodies aren't used to, we tend to hold onto some water weight, things like that. So unless you're eating 7,000 calories in one day, which you're not going to do, like 7,000 calories is 2 pounds. Okay. So if you get on the scale after Thanksgiving and you've gained 2 pounds, you haven't really gained 2 pounds unless you ate 7,000 calories. And even on Thanksgiving, you're not going to do that. I don't care if you have 2 pieces of pie, right? So understand how your body works to say, okay, so I can lose 1 to 1 pound, 1 to 1.5 pounds per week to the end of the year to get to my 10 to 15 pound weight loss goal. So what does that mean? That means that I need to be pretty diligent in my meal plan over the next 10 weeks if I want to get to this goal. And it's not exactly 10 weeks, so you might have a little bit of wiggle room in there. So 1 week you might lose 2 pounds, 1 week you might not lose any, but that's okay because you lost a little bit more the 1 week. So as long as you're maintaining that meal plan and sticking true to your meal plan, you're going to continue to see kind of that, not necessarily a plateau, but if your body loses a couple pounds this week, it may hold on to a little bit more the following week just to make sure your system's functioning properly. And then it will continue to bless you as you continue to bless your body with proper fuel, rest, hydration, and movement. Make sense? So I want to encourage you that maybe you want to work out, maybe you work out now 1 to 2 times a week and you want to get that up to 4 to 5 times a week. I don't ever want you to be exercising 7 times a week. I like to work out 6 days a week. One of those days is active rest, so either yoga, stretching, something like that. And then Sundays, I don't do anything. I'm not resting, I'm not working out, I'm not stretching. I'm just like taking naps and relaxing, okay? Your body heals. Your muscles heal and repair when you rest. So sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night, that is going to account for your weight loss. That is going to account for being able to hop back into a workout and push through even when your muscles feel sore. So if you are going from 1 to 3 workouts a week to 4 to 5 or 5 to 6, you have to look at your schedule and say, okay, where is it going to make sense for me to work some of these things in? If my weight is a priority for me by the end of the year, I'm going to, 1, have to learn to say no to things that God has not confirmed with me. So if somebody's asking you to volunteer for things or do extra things, you need to pray over that and say, okay, God, you've really told me that my health needs to be a priority this year. Please show me the things that you want me to do as far as volunteering and the things that are not going to serve me. It's okay to say no, even if it's your pastor or someone from church asking you to do a church activity. Pray over it. Just because it came from church doesn't mean that you have to eat the food at the potluck, and it doesn't mean you have to say yes. Pray over it, okay? So I want you to be very specific in the goals that you are writing down through the end of the year. I know if I want to add 5 new leaders to our team, I need to be talking to about 500 people over the course of the next 3 months. So what does that look like for me? That means every day I need to be having new conversations with people, all right? So just understand that when you work backwards and break your goals down backwards, you can come up with very specific and measurable goals that you can actually see daily. I am not an analytical brain by any sort of the word, like at all. However, when I break these down, I can see that specifically. So if I want to save $2,000, I know that about every week for the next 10 to 12 weeks, I need to be putting away $100 to $200. Is that actually reasonable for me? Or would it be more reasonable for me to say, I want to say, okay, that's pretty big. I want to save $1,000 by the end of the year. And then you can work back that way. So see, like we can sometimes have some pretty lofty goals like losing 20 pounds or saving thousands of dollars. But when we write them down, when we look at the time we actually have left to accomplish the goal and we start to work backwards, we can actually create a plan that is reasonable and that is attainable. And that is not when the end of the year comes and you didn't lose 20 pounds or save $2,000, say, oh, I suck. What's the point? I'm never going to do this. I may as well just quit. That's not the attitude. We're not going in for all or nothing. And even if you set the goal for 5 to 10 pounds and you don't hit it, we still don't have that kind of attitude, right? Like sometimes life happens. Sometimes kids get sick or you have health issues or whatever the thing is. Give yourself some grace here. And when you write down these goals, spend some time to pray over them and let God reveal his plan to you. Okay? Notice I only have 2 out of 7 goals that actually apply to my work. That's not where he's having me focus right now. And that's hard for me because for 7 years that has been my focus, is this business. But I know that things are not moving forward for me because I'm not being obedient in writing my book. So whatever we think that we need, We have to be in tune with what he actually requires of us and is asking of us so that we're living our purpose in accordance to his will, not our fleshy, selfish desires. And even though I choose to and hope to, and I think that I honor God with my business, I can still not be obedient, even honoring him with my business, because I'm not doing the thing that he has put ahead of my business on my plate, which is my book. So book, baby, business is kind of like the thing that I keep getting. So it's going to be a weird end of the year. Like, I already have all of these panicky things because, you know, Beachbody says help 3 people average every month. Normally by the beginning of the month, I've hit my goal. This week, I haven't helped one person. Because he's having me, he's taking me through so many of these things that are like throwing me completely off course. But my goal is not to live for Beachbody or their monthly goal. My goal is to live in accordance with God's will for my life. Okay. So, these are just some things that he's really been calling me on, and I feel like I need to help you be more specific and intentional in your goal setting, especially as you start to intentionally spend more time with him. My goal is always client transformations. I always want you guys to be having transformations, and the biggest transformation I have seen from any of you in the past few months since we've been doing these calls is you're making more intentional time with God. And that has already been a win for me, and hopefully for you too. So write down some goals. You can have up to 10 for the end of the year, but then I want you to number your top 5 and then circle your top 3. And those 3 to 4 are going to be where we really heavily focus in your one-on-one time moving forward. So whether it's your business, whether it's your body, whether it's your family or your income or your job, whatever your goal is, or maybe you're considering coaching and that wants to be, that's a goal that you have by the end of the year. Let's create some intentional habits so that by the end of the year, if you have 3 to 4 goals you're working towards, that if we reach 1 or 2 of those, that's amazing. And then moving into January, we can focus on the other 2. If you set 4 goals by the end of the year and you don't hit them, that's okay. Grace over grind, right? But we're still going to work on them. And if we reach 1, we're celebrating because that's huge. So I know that these are some of the goals that I have. We're going to be intentionally working towards yours. So I really want to make sure that you have these listed. I know next week I'm not doing any one-on-one calls, but I want to make sure that moving forward, you have these for me. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this and share it in the comments under this video. And once you have written down yours, prioritize your top 5 and circle your top 3 to 4, then we will start in your calls going over those and creating like a weekly plan. All right. I also would highly encourage you to get some kind of a planner so that we have things that we can specifically work on each day. So thank you for listening to me ramble, and just have a super blessed day.